Have you ever heard about the EternalBlue vulnerability? Well, it's a critical software flaw that was exploited by the infamous WannaCry ransomware back in May of 2017. This vulnerability exists in Microsoft Windows operating systems and primarily targets the server message block, or SMB protocol. Now, you might be wondering, what is SMB? It's essentially a network file sharing protocol that lets applications and services read and write to files and request services from server programs in a network. So, you can imagine how dangerous it is when such a crucial component is compromised. The EternalBlue vulnerability was a wake-up call to the world, demonstrating how a single exploited weakness could cause widespread havoc. It underscored the importance of robust cybersecurity measures and the need for constant vigilance in an increasingly digital world. As you can see, the EternalBlue vulnerability is a serious issue that has caused massive damage worldwide. EternalBlue was not a sudden phenomenon. In fact, it has a detailed history of discovery and identification. This cyber threat emerged from the shadows with an official identifier, CVE 2017-0144. The significance of this identifier is that it pinpoints a specific vulnerability in the vast world of software security, providing a clear target for both cyber defenders and attackers. Now let's talk about the affected systems. EternalBlue had a wide reach, impacting Microsoft Windows operating systems from the classic Windows XP all the way through to Windows Server 2012 R2. This isn't just a handful of systems we're talking about. It spans across generations of software, from personal computers sitting in your grandparents' basement to high-powered servers running critical infrastructure. When the news broke, Microsoft was quick to respond. They released security patches to address the vulnerability for both supported and unsupported versions. However, the damage had been done. The cybercriminals had a head start, and they were not about to let this golden opportunity slip away. This brings us to a stark realization. EternalBlue was no ordinary vulnerability. Its wide reach and the severity of its potential impact made it a potent weapon in the hands of cybercriminals. The discovery and identification of EternalBlue was a wake-up call to the cybersecurity industry, reminding us of the constant need for vigilance and the importance of keeping our software up to date. This wide range of affected systems made EternalBlue a potent weapon in the hands of cybercriminals. So how exactly is this vulnerability exploited? Well, let's delve into the workings of EternalBlue. It's all about the Server Message Block Protocol, or SMB, a network file-sharing protocol that allows applications and services to read, write to files, and request services from server programs in a network. The vulnerability lies in the first version of this protocol, SMBv1, to be precise. Imagine SMBv1 as a kind of digital doorway into your system. Now, under normal circumstances, this doorway is quite secure. But EternalBlue, it's like a master key that can unlock this door without anyone noticing. So, how does an attacker exploit EternalBlue? They start by creating what we call crafted packets. These packets are essentially chunks of data manipulated or crafted in a certain way. The attacker sends these crafted packets to the SMBv1 server on a target system. Now, here's where things get interesting. The crafted packet is designed to exploit the vulnerability in SMBv1. It's like a Trojan horse, seemingly harmless on the outside but carrying a malicious payload on the inside. When the SMBv1 server receives this packet, the malicious code concealed within is executed. The code execution isn't just random, it's arbitrary. This means the attacker can pretty much dictate what happens next. They can install software, create new accounts with full user rights, modify data, or even delete data. In essence, they can do whatever they please, and that's not all. The real terror of EternalBlue lies in its ability to propagate. Once the vulnerability is exploited on one system, it can spread to other systems in the network, leading to a cascading effect. It's like a digital wildfire, spreading rapidly and causing significant damage. What's the end result? Unauthorized access. The attacker, through the exploitation of EternalBlue, can gain complete control over the targeted system, effectively rendering the rightful owner powerless. Once exploited, the attacker could gain complete control over the targeted system. The consequences of this vulnerability were severe, with the WannaCry ransomware being the most notorious example. WannaCry took full advantage of the EternalBlue exploit, using it as a means to spread across global networks at an alarming rate. Unlike other ransomware, WannaCry didn't rely on the usual method of tricking users into clicking on a malicious link or opening a compromised attachment. Instead, it propagated automatically, worming its way from one system to another without any human intervention. This allowed it to move with unprecedented speed and reach, encrypting files and demanding a ransom payment to unlock them. The attack was like a digital wildfire, affecting everything from hospitals to businesses, government agencies to universities. The WannaCry ransomware attack was one of the largest cyber attacks in history, affecting hundreds of thousands of computers in over 150 countries. What can we learn from the EternalBlue vulnerability and the ensuing WannaCry attack? The EternalBlue vulnerability, officially identified as CVE 2017-0144, exposed a critical weakness in Windows operating systems from Windows XP through Windows Server 2012 R2. It highlighted the inherent risks in network file sharing protocols like SMB, which when exploited, allowed an attacker to execute arbitrary code on a target system. The real-world impact of this vulnerability was seen in the WannaCry ransomware attack in May of 2017. Utilizing the EternalBlue exploit, the ransomware spread rapidly across networks worldwide, demonstrating how a single vulnerability could result in widespread disruption. But let's focus on the lessons learned. First, the importance of prompt patching. Microsoft released security patches to address the vulnerability, both for supported and unsupported versions of Windows. Applying these patches promptly is a crucial step in preventing exploitation. Second, the risks associated with legacy systems. Outdated and unsupported software can expose systems to significant risks. In this case, disabling the outdated SMBv1 protocol was recommended as a mitigation measure. Finally, the need for cybersecurity awareness on a global scale. It's not just about keeping your own systems secure, but understanding the interconnected nature of our digital world. Remember, the key to preventing such attacks is staying informed, keeping your systems updated, and following cybersecurity best practices. Stay safe out there.